Hi everyone, today I'm going to make a Taiwanese beef noodle soup. There is a small restaurant about 25 minutes away from my house that sells authentic Taiwanese food. They have really yummy beef noodle soup and popcorn chicken because those two food is the most popular and famous Taiwanese food. So I've been trying to make the beef noodle soup at home, and I finally made one that tastes pretty similar to the one from that restaurant, and I could even find the noodles that they use. So I just can't wait to share the recipe with you. To make this Taiwanese beef noodle soup, we will need this beef shank cut for the beef. If you cannot find beef shank, you can use chuck, but shank cut is the traditional cut that they use for making this Taiwanese beef noodle soup. Okay, besides the beef, we will need many other ingredients. So we need what they call jiang. It is basically spicy soybean paste. This is the brand that I am using, but if you cannot find this spicy soybean paste, I suppose you can actually substitute with soybean paste or doenjang mixed with gochujang or with sambal ulek. Besides the daobanjang, we will need star anise, garlic, onion, ginger, and red chilies. Also tomato. I'm using one large tomato. If you're using medium, you may want to use 2 medium tomatoes. This bay leaves, dried bay leaves, and also sugar. So I have rock sugar at home. Normally the one that I found in Indonesia, in Asia, they have like bigger size like this, okay, the rock sugar. But what I found in the Asian grocery near my house is only the small sizes, so I'm gonna use 3 or 4. Okay, we also gonna use 2 kind of soy sauce, the dark soy sauce and the light soy sauce, and also a Chinese cooking wine, which is a rice wine. All right, also do not forget the green onions. All right, so the first thing I want to do is to boil this shank cut for 5 minutes with some ingredients. Okay, the stuff that's gonna go into the pot with the beef is going to be green onions. All right, so I have bunches here. I have like 7, so I'm gonna use 3 green onions. So I'm gonna cut in half. Okay, the star anise and the ginger. Okay, so this is the ginger that I'm gonna use. So I'm going to slice the ginger. So boiling this beef at the beginning is just to remove the residue and all the gross stuff from the beef. So put the ginger, like 5 or 6 slices of ginger into the pot with water, and then 3 stalks of green onions, and also the star anise, like 3. Okay, and then the shank. So I'm using 2 pounds of beef shank. So just put it into the pot, and then we're going to boil this with a cover for 5 minutes. So meanwhile, I'm going to prepare the rest of the ingredients. So I have the green onions here. I'm gonna just cut into half. Okay, put aside. And the 2 red chili, just cut it lengthwise here. Okay, I do not really want to use the seeds, so and I'm gonna slice the onion. I'm gonna use like 1 onion, but I have like a part of a whole onion here, so I'm gonna use this part and then also cut some more. from the new one. Okay, so I'm gonna use this much. Just slice thinly. Okay. And slice the ginger. So I'm gonna just use this much of ginger, okay, and slice it. If you like your soup to be more gingery, then you may use more, but this is a good amount for me. So 6 or 7 cloves of garlic together, peel, 3 pots of star anise. Okay, 2, 3. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna use 4 rock sugar. Okay, and don't forget the bay leaves. Okay, I'm using 3 dried bay leaves. So these ones are gonna go together first. And then tomato is gonna go later, so I'm gonna prepare, but I'm gonna put it separately. So just slice the tomato. All right, so I forgot to show you the noodles that I am using is this one. It's called Guan Miao sliced noodles. This is what they actually use in the restaurant that we go, and it said here it's made in Taiwan. Okay, so I have boiled my beef for 5 minutes with the lid on. Okay, so now I need to move my beef to a different bowl that have cold water. And I'm gonna rinse my beef in the cold water to stop the process a little bit, so that I can cut this beef without having so much blood. Okay, cold water. Okay, rinse with cold water. All right. Okay. And then I'm going to discard this water. Actually, it's up to you. If you want to use this water for the soup, it's okay too. But I saw how it released a lot of residue from the beef earlier, so I do not want to use this water. I'm gonna just discard this water and then use the new clean water, and still gonna taste really good. Okay. So I'm gonna add 2 liters of water, and then I'm gonna boil this water. Okay, now I'm going to slice the beef. You want to cut it into thicker slice, okay? Not too thin. You see, it's still raw inside, right? This is what I want anyway. So you want to cut like a 1 centimeter thickness, okay? All right, now let's start cooking the ingredients. So in the wok, I'm gonna heat oil like a 1/4 cup. All right, and then add in all the ingredients that I have prepared here. Okay, start from the onion. Make sure you do not splash yourself with hot oil. Okay, the green onion, the red chili, ginger, garlic, star anise, rock sugar. By the way, if you do not have rock sugar, you may use the white granulated sugar, of course, bay leaves. Okay, everything. And then just stir fry all together. I mean, like saute all together. So if you are not using the rock sugar but using the white sugar instead, you do not need to add the sugar now. Just add the sugar later. Okay. The rock sugar is milder than the white sugar. It's less sweet. So I'm going to add the bean paste here, the Taoban jiang. I'm gonna use 2 tablespoons because this paste is salty. So we wanna saute everything until the onions become translucent. Alright, now I'm going to add the beef. And then a 1/3 cup of dark soy sauce. This dark soy sauce is for the color because the color is really dark. The Taiwanese beef noodle soup. A light soy sauce. The Chinese cooking wine. So all a 1/3 cup. And then the tomatoes. Oops. Okay, now I'm going to cook this for a good amount of time. See, my water here is already boiling, so I'm gonna turn down the heat. So I'm gonna cook this one for like 8 minutes. You want to keep stirring it, okay? By the way, I'm cooking with a medium-high heat. So we want all these ingredients, the seasonings to soak into the beef. Okay, that's why we're cooking it for 8 minutes, for a good amount of time. Okay, so I have cooked this beef for 8 minutes, so I'm gonna move my water. It's actually hot already, but I turned down the heat earlier, and transfer this beef and everything else into this pot or Dutch oven. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna wait until it's boiling. Okay, now the soup is boiling again, so I'm gonna add salt and white pepper. Okay, so it's like almost 1 teaspoon. If it's not salty enough, I can always add salt later. And white pepper, not black pepper, white pepper. Also around like 1 teaspoon. Okay, and then we're gonna stir it. And I'm going to turn down the heat to the lowest heat and then put the lid on. And then I'm going to cook for 2 hours, okay? Because a shank cut is a tough cut. It takes a lot of time to make this cut tender. All right, so I'll be back after 2 hours. So it is 2 hours already. So I'm going to try my soup. Tastes so good. It doesn't need any more salt, okay? It is salty enough. I can taste the star anise. I can taste the ginger. It's really good, okay? That's how it is supposed to taste like, this Taiwanese beef noodle soup. You should be able to taste the spices, the star anise, the ginger, everything. All right, and look at this beef. It's so tender already. So it really took 2 hours to make this beef shank tender. All right, so I'm going to turn off my stove. Meanwhile, I'm boiling water in the other pot to make the noodles, to cook the noodles, okay? So while waiting for my water to boil, to cook the noodles, so I'm gonna show you the noodles. This is the noodles, looks like. It is called a sliced noodles, all right? And it is, again, it is made in Taiwan. It's a vegetarian noodles. I just need to cook these noodles according to the instructions. But meanwhile, I'm going to prepare the vegetable to eat with this noodle soup. For this Taiwanese beef noodle soup, we normally use this kind of vegetable. Is called Shanghai tips. So it looks like bok choy, like baby bok choy, but it's very, very small. So smaller size than the baby bok choy. You can use bok choy, of course, but you know what? I like using the smaller size of vegetable. It's easier to eat. All right. So if you're using baby bok choy, you can just cut in half lengthwise. But if you're using the Shanghai tips, you do not have to cut it in half. But you know what? I like to cut it in half anyway, lengthwise. Okay, like this. So I assume per person is gonna eat 3 Shanghai tips. I'm gonna have to prepare 3 times 5, 15 Shanghai tips. And I'm going to rinse these vegetables using salt water. Okay? Okay, the water is boiling. Before I cook the noodles, I'm going to cook the vegetables. All right? So I've rinsed this vegetable. I'm gonna cook for 3 minutes. Okay? Okay, so now strain the vegetable. So I'm going to cook the noodles. I'm gonna cook 5 noodles. All right, the water is boiling. I'm gonna put all 5 because my pot is big. Okay, so the instructions say I have to wait until the water is boiling again. When the water is boiling again, simmer. It means with a lid, and change the heat setting to the lowest and then cook for 3 minutes. So this is the soup, the beef soup. The beef is very tender already. You will see the star anise. You know, you may want to remove this star anise and the bay leaves before you start serving the soup. Alright, so I have the noodles ready, the beef soup ready, and the vegetable ready. So I just need to put them all together in a bowl. Alright, noodle first. And some vegetables. And the beef soup. All right, so you can just eat this beef noodle soup the way it is now. I like eating this beef noodle soup with chili oil. All right, you can get the chili oil at any Asian grocery store. They sell it. It's a Chinese spicy chili oil. All right, but I didn't get it from the grocery store. I actually got it from a restaurant, a dim sum place. All right, it has a Szechuan taste, so it's really, really good. And there you go. It's very, very yummy, just like the one that we always get from the Taiwanese restaurant here. So I hope you enjoy the video and probably want to try making it yourself. I promise you're gonna love it. See you next time.